In the event, that took me quite a bit longer than anticipated to set up. I decided against the shot that I mentioned from the bog, the little swamp there, purely because it was just such an ugly picture. And at the end of the day, if I want just a record of an animal, I can use the trail cams and they can do their job, and I can get plenty of record of whatever animals are passing through anywhere. The idea of the DSLR is to actually get some beautiful images. So there is a risk involved with that, both in terms of nothing coming through the setup, and also in terms of the equipment getting damaged or stolen or what have you. So I thought I'd take another gamble and set up along the path by the swamp here, by the pond and the reed bed. There's a trail which runs along it underneath this fallen log here. And I had noticed that on one of the trail cams, the one where the jackal comes sniffing at the camera, this is the path he came from. And it's the same I'm pointing in the same direction as he was coming. So the hope is that it's a regular route. He'll use it again, she will use it again, and I might capture a shot. Like I said, my only concern is the length of time between the trigger and waking up the flashes to set off the setting off the camera. So very briefly, underneath the pile here of leaves and branches, I've set up the camera facing the gap underneath the fallen tree. So that's all the frame. There's a little bit of sky there as well. I have the flash, one of the flashes is on the tripod leg of the camera facing the fallen log, and the other one is up here to provide a light pointing down, a top light. I have one of the trail cams set up here pointing this way down the path, and the other one is on the other side of the tree pointing that way down the path. I've put them high up, angled downwards, in the hope that when the red light comes on, when they sense movement, the animals won't be put off by it and they'll still carry on through. That's the hope, anyway. The trigger I have set on the fallen tree here, and it's set, I'm assuming the animal will come from that direction, coming this way. So it's set to trigger just before it comes underneath the log, assuming that'll slow it down and give enough time to wake the flashes up, wake the camera up, and fire as it comes through underneath the fallen tree here. That's the theory of it. Whether it'll work or not is another matter. And again, we shall see in a few days' time. I'm going to leave it as undisturbed as I can this time, for as many days as I can hold out my anxiety to come and see if I've managed to capture anything, and let it run its course, and hopefully we'll have a bit more success than I've had so far. So yeah, catch up with you in a few days' time. See you then. Okay, so hello and welcome, my friends, to this ongoing saga with my camera trap. And okay, where to begin? After the clip that you just saw, where I set up the camera trap near the pond with the fallen tree, I went back 3 days later because a massive storm came through with high winds, which blew down stork's nest, it blew down cormorant's nest in the forest beyond here. It was a really big storm, and sure enough, the camera had nothing pretty much other than false triggers on it, both trail cam and DSLR. Other than 2 shots on the trail cam, 2 clips of an otter that was playing around, had come out of the pond and was playing around behind the DSLR, so I didn't capture it at all on the DSLR. So that being the case made me think, okay, just turn the camera around. So I did. I turned the camera around, facing the opposite way, covering both where the otter had come out of the pond and the tracks for the jackals. Let it go for another 6 days after switching out batteries and cards and what have you. Came back again after another storm, and yet again nothing but false triggers, and only on the trail cam I think it was that occasion I got one clip of a marsh harrier that landed in the reeds, and I think it jumped on a frog afterwards. It's really hard to tell what it was in the water, and then flew off. Literally just a few seconds worth of poor footage off the trail cam. So once again, changed out batteries, changed out cards, let it go for another 6 days, and again nothing but false triggers. And on this occasion I got a shot of a beach marten, stone marten. Not a great shot on the DSLR. It's quite far away, head is bent down so you can't really see any facial details properly, so not a great shot. And that was it. So I decided then and there that it was proving to be too much of a fruitless location, so I broke it all down, took it home, cleaned it out, because the camera case as well was full of ants, and a spider had made an egg sac in there. Something else had been in and was chewing on the foam padding in the case, so it made sense just to break it down and find somewhere else. And so I came to this woods, which I've never been to before. There's no human trails at all through here, just animal tracks, thankfully, but it also means that it's a lot harder to follow them because they go through bushes, under logs, etc., and it's quite dense. And I was only intending to set the trail cams up to see what I might get on the trail cams first before committing the DSLR. But I found this fantastic location here just behind me, where this fallen tree is, and a definitive path that runs underneath the fallen tree. So I thought, okay, this is ideal. The picture looks great, the composition. So I set the DSLR up there, overlooking that with flashes above and to the side, trail cam on this side, and I set the trail cams in 2 other locations overlooking 2 other tracks as well, see what I might get. And I just had a look on this one, and again, quite a few false triggers it seems. I think it's atmospheric conditions rather, that are triggering it. I got a shot of what I believe is a jackal leaping over the fallen tree, but it's just a blur because it was a long exposure in low light. But I think that's a jackal. I got a fox. Again, not a clear shot. It was wary. I think it could probably sense my presence with the camera trap here. So it was quite wary, so I got a sideline shot of him just sort of peering in, investigating. And what else? I got a badger, not a great shot, again just a side-on view. But it has a lot of potential, I think, this. And I think the trail cam recorded a marten as well. So anyway, I've switched everything out, reset it. I really have to try and sort out the long delay between the sensor triggering and waking the flashes. I don't know quite what to do about that, but I'm going to have to find some solution, because it's just the delay is killing me in terms of it being too early or too late to actually capture the image, so I have to sort that out. And that's about it. So I'll be back in a few days again to check on it. I'm going to go check on the trail cams as well, so I'll show you that footage now if there's anything on it. And if not, then I shall see you and catch up with you again in a few days, when hopefully there'll be something more on the camera trap. So I shall see you then. Okay, so it's been a few more days since I set up the DSLR again at this location in the woodland here, and I thought I'd come back today because tomorrow I'm actually leaving for a week, so I wanted to make sure I leave the camera fully charged and flashes, and to check see if anything was on the cards. In the event on the DSLR there was 170 false triggers, half of which are wind, half of which are this bloomin' blackbird that kept setting it off, as well as a couple of shots of a fox again peering under the fallen tree there. Not great images, but cute, I think. And the trail cam, I can't really tell from the little screen if there's anything on it, so I'll check on that and show you that as well if there's anything on it. What else? Yeah, you will have seen the footage from the two other trail cams I placed, different locations in this woodland, one of which was extremely active. So if this one proves fruitless as well by the time I get back, then I might try and find a decent composition over there, because where the trail cam was, it's a bit of an ugly shot. So I might try and find somewhere close there that looks good. So yeah, that's about it for this one. I shall catch up with you again soon in the next one. And until then, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you again very soon. Bye for now.